this is a really good example of why you should ignore the letters in the model number, because this is an RB, but it's not a rear bath. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like it. You need to check this out. Welcome, everybody. Josh, the RV nerd of Bish's RV, down here at the Vibe Factory today. They were kind enough to pull up a bunch of things for us, so maybe leave them a quick little note if you like the footage. Says, hey, thanks, Vibe, or whatever. But this new 26, frankly, the whole Vibe series has completely reinvented themselves from what they were doing in years past. And this new 2600 RB, when you see the model number, you're thinking, okay, so it's that rear bath super slide 30-foot camper that everybody makes. No, it is not that. This RB is a rear bar. It's a bar top diner with awesome overlook windows. You've got a huge kitchen overlook window looking at the campsite of your RV straight under the awning, which, first of all, awesome. Right there, you already kind of won me over. Secondly, I'm a sucker for bar top dining, and that big bar top in the back, again, with a giant picture window overlook, this time off the back side of the camper. Some people like looking at backsides. This one, you look out the backside. But you get the idea. It gives this RV a big open feel. Now, the ceilings of these are a little bit taller. And you do have that, sofa kind of pantry kitchen combo slide, also giving you a lot of space. But this thing has good counter space, good prep space, awesome views and visibility. It doesn't have a propane oven, and it does have a short mattress. But we're going to talk about the good and the bad as we go today. By the way, if you appreciate how we give you the candid look at things, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But the bed is bigger, just not bigger in the way that I think I would have preferred it, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a good fit for you. Underbelly's enclosed and forced air heated, wide stance axles for towing, enclosed docking center, good front pass-through storage, and a bunch of other awesome qualities on this. It's not going to be for everybody, but it does some things really cool that you don't often find in the industry, and I'm really curious to know what you think about this one. So as we go, let me know, where did they nail it? Where did they fail it? What do you love? And what would you change given the opportunity? Now, sometimes in the case of a new model like this, I don't exactly know where to begin, especially a floor plan where I've never seen something like it. So I don't have some historical experience like, oh, if I start here and then go over here, I think it'll look good. Like, I don't have that. So when in doubt, I set it out. And I just plop my backside over here at the theater seat and I look around. And I will tell you, this is a floor plan that, first of all, when I saw it was just called an RB, I thought it was a rear bathroom. I think I probably fell into the same pitfall and pratfall that a bunch of other people fall into. The other thing is, if I would have just looked at this floor plan schematic on paper, I don't think I would have liked it. I'd have looked at it and said, I don't know, I think that's weird. This is an RV that you need to get into and see in person. I like it. I like it personally a lot. Now, I like atypical, unconventional things, probably just because I've seen the same thing 100 times. But like, if I would have looked at the entertainment center over here on paper, I'm not sure I would have really cared for it. But when I'm sitting in it in person, when you tilt the TV out just slightly, I think it works. Is it a direct facing entertainment center? Not necessarily. Straight across from us is the window in the entry door and the giant kitchen overlook window. But I'm going to give it a pass because I don't think it's a terrible entertainment center. I don't think it's hard to see. And by kind of just slightly sliding it out of the way, they've created the opportunity for, again, the big kitchen window, but also really nice kitchen counter and prep space that a lot of 30-foot trailers typically don't have. Like most, if this was that 24 rear bath that I thought it was, it would not have that amount of kitchen space. Now, I also want to point out, this is called a 2400, and the RV is 29 foot 9 inches or something like that, tip to tail. It's a 30-foot RV that is called a 2400. I don't like that, but whatever. I mean, I can't change that. I can at least make you aware of it. The theater seat is nice and plush and comfy. They've upgraded their furniture a little bit from last year. I prefer a folding middle armrest versus the hard fixed middle console, especially considering you already got the barley pop holders in the armrest there. So you got your built-in cup holders. And I want to give them credit. Their floor flush slides are more flush with the floor than most floor flush slides, which sounds like Diet Dr. Pepper, tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper. But if you ever get into a bunch of RVs and see them in person, you'll see that what I just said is completely accurate. Most, quote, floor flush slides are not, in fact, floor flush. They usually have like a 1.5 to 2 inch bump that's just sort of covered up with a carpetless flap or something like that. And this one's not 100% floor flush, but it's more so than most. So that I'm good with. Now, standing, looking at the back of this thing, like standing, if you wake up in the morning or come out of the bathroom, this is what you're looking at. Look at the views. Look at the visibility that you have on this. Not to mention, these giant windows open for insane airflow. So there's some really, really good qualities going on here. Some things that personally I'm very happy with. Now, it does not have a traditional dinette. And for some people, that's a no-go. I respect that. And Vibe knows that. Vibe is not trying to convince you otherwise. Vibe's intentionally trying to do stuff different from everybody else. One, I think to kind of get people to recognize the work that they're doing, but two, because they just don't want to be everybody else. You know, they're not trying to be another Imagine clone. They're not trying to be a Brinkley clone. Vibe is just being Vibe. And I have respect for that. Now, I love bar top dining like this. I think that these bar top setups are great. Personally, I think that countertop needs to be just slightly deeper, like 4 to 6 inches deeper, so that it overhung over your legs a little bit more. But I like how both chairs have their own household and USB outlets in because you have no heat vents in the floor. So the heat vents coming out of that cabinetry right there will definitely toast your toesies, which is not necessarily, I think, a bad thing. Also, I want to give them major credit for this. They realized that if they weren't careful, depending on where they put the converter fuse box, it could be blocked off when the slide closes for road mode. And they made sure not to run into that here. They made sure to place that in a location that would be readily available even for transit. Now, some floor plans, that's easier than others. Obviously, in this one, overall, I think they did a pretty good job here. And although we're looking at a theater seat today, I'm pretty sure, I'm about 99% sure that there is a hider bed. There's a hide-a-bed sleeper sofa option that is available there. By putting this big pantry and the refrigerator in the slide, 12-volt fridge in that 10 cubic foot family and size variety right there, they have taken your two biggest, bulkiest objects in your kitchen and they've gotten them out of the way. And that really is one of those things that I think actually helps open up the total space of this overall. Magnet holdbacks and hidden hinges, and you may actually notice these are seamless doors, so you don't have to worry about, you know, your cabinet doors stressing and splitting over time. Now, there's some cool things in this kitchen, and there's some things I don't like, and I want to make sure that I point both of those out to you. I do like these skirted stainless sinks. The black stainless always looks really sharp to me. However, no dedicated spot for a wastebasket. That left-hand lower cabinet with the shelf in the middle, I kind of wish that shelf wasn't there. That would have been perfect for a wastebasket, but look at this over here. We have got plywood drawers down to the floors. Or if I'm going to speak in more proper terms, we have plywood drawers down to the floors. We say we have got a lot, even though that's not actually what you should say, but I still say it all the time. Now down here, this is a 3-in-1 function electric air fryer oven with convection and microwave features on it, essentially. So it does not have a propane oven. You have a propane cooktop, but you don't actually have a propane oven on the inside of the RV. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing that is a wider, like 30-inch entry door. So it's just easier coming and going. I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to close up this kitchen cabinetry, but I also want to talk about a couple things that are cool and not so cool. First of all, in the not so cool department, this RV does not have a traditional stovetop exhaust vent hood, but I'm not really upset with what they did. Instead of having an exhaust vent that goes out the side of the RV above the stovetop, they gave us a small powered vent fan directly above it. Now, that could mean that when you're cooking, some more of the heat goes up past your face, but heat rises, and that should actually organically exhaust heat a little more effectively out of the RV. Not to mention, it's kind of acting like a second skylight in addition to the already standard skylight that you can see over my left shoulder here. Speaking of over my left shoulder, let's talk what's cool about this RV. the air conditioning system is going to be improved, and I think significantly. By default right now, this is a 30 amp RV with a single 15,000 BTU air conditioner. Both of those things are going to be enhanced. It is going to become factory standard a 50 amp RV with dual factory air. What you're going to get here in the living room will be the 18,000 BTU variable output Furrion chill cube, and then mini ducted between the bedroom and bathroom, a second 13,500 BTU air conditioner. So these will be factory standard with a high efficiency 31,500 BTU air system, literally more than doubling what they're doing now, and they're doing it factory standard. And what's cool about that, when it's done from the factory, instead of adding a second air after the fact, it's now covered by the factory warranty. And when you get stuff done at the factory, it costs less. One of the things we've learned at Bish's RV with our own exclusive series of Go Play trailers is that the fewer things you have to do after the fact, the lower the overall cost, and the better the end result typically. So I feel what they're doing is the right call. And is there anybody who doesn't want the extra potential cooling power on this? If you're going to be in that Texas, Arizona crazy sun, the Georgia humidity, I can't imagine not having those personally. Even in southern Michigan, I would want them. So if that was cool news for you to hear, it's so stupid. I don't know. Drop me a little ice cube emoji in the comment section. I don't know. Ooh! I didn't notice this before. This has practically perfect power outlet capability. Look at the right side of the screen, right at the countertop level. We have the pop-up power tower. It's there when you want it, gone when you don't. Then you have dual power outlets just above the countertop level over on the left side. A lot of laminated wall RVs can't do that, because normally there's not good spots to mount power outlets. But because we have the hollow wall between the bathroom and the kitchen, that worked out perfectly. Nice. All right, that's using your dipstick, Jimmy. What is that dead pocket? Does this cabinet... Sorry, okay. I don't like when storage space is wasted. This cabinet does go all the way around the corner, so I don't care that pocket is just paneled up. Well, what do you do? This was lit up when I got here, so I didn't have a... Oh! Ooh! Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I tell you what, in the evening hours, that could almost be like a nighttime navigation guide light, especially because in its current configuration, like this has no dinette that could fold into a sleeper. By default, this has a theater seat, I think. Again, I'm pretty sure a hide-a-bed's available. If you do want some guest capability, that could be a handy little thing. Now, the sink literally just harmonically resonated with my loud, nasally voice, and I heard a, oh my Lord, I'm back in third grade. Okay, take a look at the right side of the screen. I want to show you the storage, but the only way I could show you these drawers effectively was to take that footage into Insano wide-angle lens mode, which I hate doing, but the way that it's all kind of packed into that corner, I couldn't think of a better way to display all of that for you. And it also occurs to me, I never actually opened the space under the sink. Okay, so basically not a whole lot going on there, but all right, it is what it is. Okay, so that's not just a cheap plastic sink. Excellent. Again, good power outlet locations. And I like bathroom windows. I don't know that I would ever open it. I don't even know if I'd have the shade open ever, but I like them. And that is a medicine cabinet, not a mirror on the wall. The thing with walk-through bathrooms is they're not for everybody, because if, you're up in the bedroom and your significant other's in here, doing what they do, like you see me doing on the left side of the screen over there with the excellent legroom and crazy good elbow room, well, the RV is kind of cut off, and that sucks. Well, the thing is, this walk-through middle bath helps the entire RV be shorter, lighter, less weight, less cost, and actually give you a bigger bathroom. In a couple's RV like this, I've kind of come around on them. In a bunkhouse model, I don't like walk-through baths if it's your only bathroom, but that's just my personal nerdy 2 cents. Now, this is 6'8" from floor to ceiling. It's 80 inches, which is uncommon, but you can see they did enough that I could still stand up in that shower. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, if you read their literature, if you look at their website, it's going to say custom king bed. It's not. It is, in point of fact, closer to what is known as an Olympic queen mattress. This is a 66 by 78 mattress. So it is pretty darn close to residential queen length. It just isn't actually a residential queen, nor is it an Olympic queen in technicality. Now, if you get on the internet and if you Google Olympic queen mattress, that's a real thing that you could easily get for a direct hot swap replacement for this, and you can get sheets for it. So keep that in mind. Look at the window coverage in this bedroom, though. I don't think they could have given us bigger windows, and they give us the biggest windows and the most windows they could on both sides of the bedroom. Now, obviously, this one is much, much larger. I wanted to get in here to show you that you do actually have a bedroom light switch and your TV hookups up here across from the bed, because if I don't display those on camera, there's always that one person's like, ha, it doesn't have bedroom TV hookups. That's why you didn't talk about it. So I got to make sure I point it out. I also like to point out the I call them the headboard power pockets, the outlets behind your wardrobe towers, which let me actually slide over here and get these open, because these are yet another kind of a good news, bad news sort of thing, because both sides are technically hanging wardrobes. However, because they gave us this nice like storage pocket down below, its greatest asset became its greatest liability. They are very short height kind of wardrobe closets, so keep that in mind. Now, I'm at a funky angle here. I'm backing up, and long term there's a reason I'm doing this, but for the meantime it looks weird anyway. We have the easy lift storage trunk below the bed, which is great, and you might notice it doesn't go all the way to the floor, because they're actually giving us a little clutter cutter shoe garage right below it. So I think that's actually pretty darn cool. Now, here's another thing I want to showcase for you. If you look at this and you go, I don't like this weird wide bed, I want just a normal queen. You see how the wood decking sticks out further than the bed base? That wood decking could be trimmed, and this could be converted to a true queen. Now, because of where they mounted the struts on the outside of the bed, those would have to be moved, but it could be done, so keep that in mind. Now, as long as I had a break in the action, I decided to go ahead and close the slide out for road mode. And usually I kind of display this from the living room, but as long as I'm up here, I kind of figured I would showcase the fact that this RV does have essentially full access and nearly full function while it's closed. However, it's what I'm going to call two-stage travel access. It's like some people really don't like a direct entry door into the bedroom, but some people like it for travel access. And, you know, different strokes, different folks. Now, I would mention this little red paddle is your deadbolt. So you have a choice between sleeping alone or sleeping with friends, depending on how you roll. It's also a good way to not be observed by the gas station murder hobo while you're sleeping, especially when you have those nicely tinted windows. But in our main cabin, with the slide closed, what can we access back here? Well, if we pop the door open and she's all closed up for road access, obviously you need those chairs strapped down so the slide can close. You can't necessarily get to both of those, but you could at least sit down at one if you had to. An accu slide like this is not good to be, you shouldn't be sitting in the slide while it's retracted, but you can leave the pantry and leave the fridge because those are anchored into more secure points. So you don't have to like unload your cargo from it. However, when the slide's closed, your kitchen is completely unimpeded. So this is a really good RV for travel stops. If you're going to do a long-term travel stayover, you're definitely going to want to find a place to open a slide out. And that might work for you. It might not. I don't know. But if you appreciate the fact that we still close the slides to show you around, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep rolling. Now, as we step outside here, I want to mention real quick that I don't have the hitch weight figure directly in front of me. You should probably have it on screen over there. But I'm looking at something that's 29 feet and change, less than 30 foot tip to tail. In that 7,500 pound-ish GVW range. That sounds like there's some pretty reasonable half-ton towing capability here. Now, it's going to depend on the half-ton in question, and it's going to depend on where you tow it. You may need to go up to 3/4, but there is some half-ton potential here. If you want us to zero in on that a little bit more, give us a call. We'll get some information on your specific truck and what you plan to do with it, and we'll go from there. Did you notice that motion light kick off, pardon me, in that docking center? Got a little frog in my throat over there. I wouldn't be surprised if old cousin Garrett, my editor, threw a little ribbit in there when I said frog in my throat. He has that kind of humor, which is part of the reason I love having him on the team. Anyway, let's start right up front here. Power tongue jack doing the heavy lifting for us. Battery disconnect behind the battery area. Kind of makes sense. And also a different kind of chassis. You see that blue sticker there? This is a Norco huck bolted chassis. And it's not a traditional Lippert I-beam frame. It's kind of been my experience. RVs on this frame don't seem to come in with a lot of structural challenges, and that excites me. I like things like that. I like it when an RV stays in the field and doesn't need work. Now, here's an interesting thing. This is a Norco AccuSlide system, and I've seen from the comments, there are a lot of people who will say, sorry, cable slide, no sale. And I'm not trying to convince you, I'm not trying to argue out of that. Here's an interesting thing. I talked to Vibe about that, because Vibe used to use rack and pinion and AccuSlide. And eventually they went to exclusively AccuSlide because they were finding less warranty work on it. Now, that doesn't fit the popular perception of those two slide systems and their service records and reliabilities. But that's why Vibe did what they did. So I guess, I'd ask you the question, did they make the right call or not? One thing they did right on this, it's a single sewer outlet. Because you have a mid-bathroom and basically a mid-kitchen, they were able to plumb everything together. So it is just plumb simple. Let's talk solar. We don't have to talk very much about it because they're really not doing factory solar. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have an optional solar package, but by default, they're just solar prepping. In the past, they were doing like this basic 100-watt solar panel, which was a glorified battery tender, but it really didn't do a whole lot. And they said, you know what? We're not going to be solar specialists. If you want a crazy solar package, contact your dealership or DIY something. In the meantime, we're going to focus on doing what we do well, and that's coming up with crazy, wild, wacky, weird, different floor plans and executions from what the industry does. And I respect that. I respect the fact that they decided to stay in their lane and do what they do and focus on doing it well instead of trying to do something they don't do well. I could respect that necessarily. Now, maybe go, yeah, but I still want solar. Okay, cool. We can slap some on for you. No big deal. You can see the aluminum framework under the bed, and I love the pegboard over here on the left side, giving you a place to put some kind of, various organizers and whatnot. We do have power corner stabilizers on this. You see one of the buttons and the stabilizers right there. Now, because we have steps and stabilizers in the way, you can't really see how the underbelly's enclosed, and it is forced air heated. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, this is the craziest Arctic Four Seasons camper the world's ever seen, because it's not. And again, they're not trying to be that. If it's going to go a little bit below freezing tonight and come back tomorrow, this RV is going to be fine. If it's going to be really, really hot, which is when most of us camp, it's going to be fine. Because again, they're going to standardize 50 amp service and the dual air conditioners. So this is made for the majority of people when the majority of people camp. It's not made for exceptional low volume circumstances. And I appreciate the fact that they're not trying to overpromise and underdeliver on that concept. Really nice patio awning space. Covers both doors very, very nicely. I really like and respect that. I also like what they did here. I like things like outside cookers and griddles on RVs if they work well, if it's a good one. The problem is the suppliers who can handle the volume of the RV industry don't usually make really good stuff. Blackstone tried and they couldn't keep up with Jayco's volume. So they quit. They told Jayco, sorry, no more griddles, So if you can't give me as a customer a good griddle, don't give me one. But you know what everybody can use? Storage. And you know it's down below here? A gas grill quick connect. So if you do still want to have an outdoor griddle or grilling station, you can. An outdoor refrigerator, very, very handy. Now, I do have it on very good authority that this lower drawer may be going away, but they will probably still keep a storage pocket of some variety out here. One of the other things, it's 30 feet which isn't too terrible to tow, but it is also a wide stance stability axle system. And one of the nice things about that is it will tow as though it were a shorter wheelbase RV. It will bounce, jounce, porpoise, wiggle, and jiggle a little bit less. And anything that's going to tow better means that you have a more comfortable experience getting it there, means that you're a little more willing and or inclined to tow it there. Hello, telephone pole. Okay, we're going to have to go around this guy. You get the idea. It's going to just enhance your overall quality of experience. 55,000 BTU on-demand water heater, furnace in the back corner over here. I don't love that these are over on the campsite of the RV, but they are all the way in the back. They're not in an area where you are likely to have to walk past it on a regular basis. And it's not a bunkhouse, so you don't have a bunch of kids accidentally touching it, in theory. You know what I mean? So I can give it a little bit of a pass on this one. I think that, yeah, it's on the campsite, but it's also out of the way on the campsite. Camera prep, ladder prep to get you up to that fully walkable roof. Actually, let's talk about that. Let's talk about construction. The roof is stick built. It is snow load. It is walkable. Pretty industry standard in that respect. Your walls, your floor, including the rear wall as well, those are aluminum framed and laminated. Sorry, we are right up next to the fence, so I know I have the camera right up inside this thing right here. I'm trying to give you a little bit more of a view. But pretty straightforward laminated construction. And here's what I would love to do. I would love to call out to existing Vibe owners. How has your RV held up over the years? Because the thing is, it's not so much what they're building with, but how they're executing it. So I would instead of hearing it from me, I would love it if existing Vibe owners chimed in. Have you had good experiences, bad experiences, a mix of experiences with the quality and the longevity of your RV? Let's hear straight from owners themselves. So let me know. What do you think of this new generation? Are you getting good vibes or are you getting bad vibes? I tried not to, but at some point I had to. Anyway, if you're kind of curious about pricing and availability on this, double check the link in the video description. You'll be able to see on our website where we have one parked and anywhere we have one in stock, the actual price tag of this thing, whether you watch the video the day that it comes out or 3 years from now. As long as this model's in production, we have it in stock. We'll have it on our website with pricing on hand for you. No need to call a salesperson, give them your grandmother's blood type, and we don't have to pull your credit report just to get you a price tag. So hope you appreciate the convenience. And when you're ready, we're ready. And short of that, subscribe if you appreciate how we treat you right, and shoot you straight. We'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.